Hey everybody, welcome back to Land Yacht Garage. In today's video, we are going to be working on this. But before we get into that, I just want to address a couple of things. Yes, I changed the YouTube channel name from Mudmower Mayhem to Land Yacht Garage. Wanted to do that just because mudmowers aren't relevant anymore. And also, I'm very terrible at it. Follow me on Instagram, Ford Truck Mayhem. Don't have a Facebook right now, and TikTok is that yellow 5'8" leader, but leader with an L. And I think that pretty much covers it. Videos will be uploaded Thursdays at 9:30. I might change that, which is actually the first video I filmed since changing the YouTube channel name. So let me show you guys what we'll be working on today. And it's been raining for the last 2 days. So this is my grandfather's 85 F250 with a 408 stroker. We've had it for about 3 years. We got it and it was a hunk of shit. It was restored. The guy had 50 grand into it, but it was a piece. Everything was messed up. It made no power. So in this video, last time we took it to the drag strip, ran a 14.6. Hopefully we can get into the 13s next time. It is a four-wheel drive truck, but there's no front drive shaft. And I'm going to do a bunch of maintenance to it that it needs, because let's use a 35-year-old master cylinder when you restore the truck, and let's use the original rubber brake hoses. So then this can go and get dynoed and tuned and a new throttle cable, because this one's rigged together because we put an 850 Brawler on it and it has way more swing than a Holly. So let me go ahead and get this thing in the shop. Okay, so it's in. Let me go ahead and show you guys what we're going to be doing today. Okay, let's get this wheel off. These wheels are absolute bear to put the lug nuts in. So, this side does have a bad tie rod end. It's pretty bad. It actually just came into AutoZone, so I'm gonna go ahead, get this brake hose off. As you can see, they are dry rotted. Well, you probably can't, but as you can see how solid this truck is underneath. Well, you can't really see it that good. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these brake hoses off and paint the caliper. Okay, this brake hose is off. I'd also like to mention, even if the brake hoses aren't dry cracked like this one, replace them if they are old, because 9 times out of 10 they'll actually swell up in the middle and lock fluid into your caliper and lock your brakes up. So I'm gonna go ahead, put my new one on. I'm gonna go find other clips that I bought, because these clips are absolutely stupid. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to find those and then paint the caliper. These styled clips are a lot better. They're kind of just open. Okay, the new rubber brake hose is on. I'd like to mention that this is the second time it's happened to me. If you use the new crush washers, it'll fucking leak. You throw the old ones back on, it doesn't leak. So, the second time I've ran into that. Not sure what's going on there, but I'm gonna go ahead, clean up this caliper, and get it painted. So before I paint the caliper, the bleeder is either really over tightened or seized into the caliper, so I'm gonna have to take care of that. Well, looks like that just turned into a caliper. Snap the bleeder off. That sucks. Well, I even heated it, but it, for some reason, is crusty in there. So, I'm just going to go ahead and move on to the other side and everything else. This side's back together temporarily because I'm going to have to roll the truck in when I do the fuel line and paint the rear drums. So, on this side, got all the lug nuts cracked loose. I'm going to go ahead and jack it up, and I think to do the line lock, I'm going to just make a new line from the master to the proportioning valve just to make my life easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this side wrapped up and then do the line lock. Actually, I think I'm actually gonna go ahead and do a time lapse. So as you can see, or maybe as you cannot see, this hose is junk. So I'm gonna get this changed out and I think I'm gonna do a time lapse. Okay, this side's wrapped up. I put the brake line on wrong on the other side, so I'm gonna have to take care of that when I do the caliper. So, got a little bit of overspray on the rotor. It'll be fine. Oh, and I gotta throw the clip on. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get this wheel back on and tackle the line lock. Okay, so like I said, I'm just gonna make a new from the master to the proportioning valve. So, I have, these are 13/16. I believe. Yep, 13/16. I have a roll of copper nickel. That's all I use. And what I use for a layering tool, if I can find it, just used it last night. Some no-name brand off of Amazon. Kind of like the, I can't think of the word. It starts with a C. One on Amazon, but this one was like $17 instead of 40. I actually have two of them. I've had this one for about a year. I've done a bunch of miscellaneous work with it, and I did the complete truck front to back. So, and then I'm gonna go ahead get my fittings in. The best thing about this copper nickel is it's like $20 for a 25-foot roll, and it comes with a bunch of fittings. I actually got 100 feet of it. So, got all them fittings. So I'm gonna go ahead quickly make up a line. I'm just gonna put about this much brake line and then put the line lock. So I guess I'll get a time lapse going of me doing it. Okay, the line lock is fully plumbed in. I know that this should be supported. I know that. But there's really no way of doing it unless I wanted to make a big loop-de-doo and bolt it maybe to the booster, well, the master cylinder bolt. But I don't have a brake line bender right now, and I don't want to kink a brake line. So have that ran down, this, all done. So I'm going to go ahead, switch out the master, and then wire in the line lock, which I got to learn how to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get this master swapped out, and see you guys then. So it's the wrong master, and the old one actually was leaking. So I didn't think it was, but it was. I think I don't recommend doing this, but it's about a half a stud off. I'm just gonna drill out both mounting holes. Probably shouldn't do that, but I'm going to do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill them out. Come on. Okay, so the master cylinder's on. I ended up just drilling out the holes a little bit, but guess what? Fitting sizes are different. This one, for the line lock, I'm just gonna cut, reflare it. This one, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to make a new one because my flare only does copper nickel. So, looks like I'm gonna redo the rear line too. Let's do it. Okay, this is sometime later. This has taken like 4 hours just to do what I've done, which is way too long. Ugly, but functional. It was currently gravity bleeding. So, yeah. When you do the line lock, don't forget to tighten up them too. Because those will leak, and it will create a big leak. So I gotta clean up all the brake fluid and shit in here. Is it literally leaking right now? Or is it just excess? I just saw it drop. Better just be excess, or I'm gonna lose my shit. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. So I'm gonna go take a break because it is 75 degrees outside, which isn't bad, except when you're in a black canvas shelter, and it's pretty much like a fucking greenhouse in here. So it's warm. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a break, clean up this brake fluid first. That's like bad, like really bad. And then wire in the line lock. Okay, so from what I've gathered, to wire in the line lock, it actually says to ground it to the mounting bolts, but I'm not. I'm actually going to try to ground it, double nut it to the master cylinder. And then you run a wire from a hot power source. I might try to go from the fuse block, or I might go from the starter solenoid. Run it to a fusible link, and then on the switch, which I don't like this switch, later on I might turn it to a regular push button and put it in one of the holes in the steering wheel. The black is actually what goes to a hot power source, and the red connects to the line lock. So I'm going to go ahead, get this wired up, and you're supposed, well, for the light, I'm not putting the light in. you just tee off the hot wire from the switch to the line lock. I'm not going to put this in. I don't see a reason to have the light. I mean, if you're pressing and holding the button, you obviously know the line lock's on. And if there was a disconnect somewhere, your front brakes won't lock. It's not hard. So I don't know why. I mean, I guess the light isn't necessary. So I'm going to go ahead and find a place to put this in the truck and start wiring. So, looking at it, actually what I might do is if I can remove, I'm not sure if this comes off, if I can just put this right here on the shifter, that's the best spot that I can find for it. Just not sure if this comes off. Okay, my assumption would be no, but I might be able to pull the roll pin. Let me pull that roll pin. And this will just be temporary until I buy a push button, because one of the holes in the steering wheel will be perfect. You can just press it. Well, that would explain the sloppy shifter. The roll pin's broken in half. Looks like I'll grab a punch and get a new roll pin. Okay, I got a hammer and a punch in my roll pins. So, hopefully this is a small enough punch. That would definitely explain the floppy shifter that this truck's had since we got it. So, if I stretch this around, I'll just maybe put a hole and zip tie it tight like that. So, how did this go on? Oh, like that. Okay. Okay, let me go ahead and wrap this up. It is not good. It goes like that, but this is only temporary. See, I just see that being a problem. So like I was saying, just a push button here. I don't have one on hand. And also, for anybody wondering where this truck came from, it actually originally came from Oregon, and then the guy bought it and lived in Maine. He restored it. Then he he lived in New York. He restored it in New York, and then it went to Maine, and then he moved to Maine, and then we got it in a trade deal, and now it's in New Hampshire. So let me go ahead, get this wired in. I think I'm going to find something in the fuse block, don't matter, and just run the hot to it. So I'm not running a hot wire all the way from the battery up into the cab. Well, I must have done something right. You can hear it engaging, so there we go. The line lock is now wired in. And now, I'm going to pick up a little bit, roll this thing forward all the way inside. I moved everything from over there and here, so that I can start on the fuel line and pull in the rear tires so I can paint the drums. Okay, I apologize for the shitty camera angles and stuff, but, so, there's the feed, okay? Fuel line loops around, loops to here, which this is 3/8, could be 5/16. No, that's 3/8. Okay, they have a little piece of the plastic fuel line going into a 1/2-inch hose that is hard as a rock. And then behind the shock, you can see that it's leaking where they used another piece of the little plastic with no clamp on this side that goes to 3/8 for about this long, and then goes back to the original plastic. And then, let's see, what's further up the line? Okay, original plastic, okay. Okay, so they cut it, they put in an adapter to this much rubber fuel line, to more rubber fuel line, to 3/8, okay. And then that goes all the way up to the pump. I don't know what the fuck's going on back there, but I'm just going to chop it all out and redo it with 3/8 hardline, because this is terrible. And then something else that they did. Where is it? Oh yeah. Some wiring for the transmission, they just spliced in a trailer pigtail. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah. Okay, so that's for the range selector. And then it loops around into here and then goes into the truck harness. I don't know. I don't. So, I'm going to go ahead and rip out the fuel line and see you guys then. Okay, just to give you guys a little better view. So, this is where it went into the pump. And then it went back, all 3/8 rubber hose, which is a lot better than what the fuck they did. So, fuel filter, 3/8 line. This is 5/16, which is way too small for this truck. It's pushing 500 horse, way too small. So, they did a little adapter from 3/8 to 5/16. And then they went, okay, for some reason they did a little chunk of hose from here to here. No clamps. And then they did a little bit into a 1/2 inch, which is fucking weird. 1/2 inch, and then they used a little bit more of the blue line to go to 5/16 to go into the sending unit. So, this video is already pretty long. I'm just gonna bust it out. I'm gonna go play some music. And I'm gonna see you guys when I get this fuel line done, because there's really no good way of recording it. And this video is super long. So, I'll see you guys when I get the fuel line done. Okay guys, fuel line's done. I actually had about 4 feet left. So, I ended up putting the fuel filter here. This fuel filter's fine. No shit came out of it. Nothing. So, I did a little bit of rubber hose and then rubber hose into the pump, because I can't do hard line all the way. So, it goes down. It goes down, and I actually clipped it in every clip on the frame rail. So it goes from down there, down here, into that clip, ran all the way back, in every clip, and then from there it goes to about a foot of rubber line into the sending unit. So, fuel line's done. It just occurred on me, last time this thing went down the drag strip, when it ran a 14.6, well, it ran such a slow number because this thing, about probably 300 feet, not even, probably 100 feet from the finish line, this thing backfired and actually popped the hood. Not actually popped the hood, but popped the back of the hood up. Which occurred to me, the reason it was probably a lean backfire from this abortion. So, hopefully, which next time it goes to the strip, it's gonna hopefully go low 13s. Because I plan on putting traction bars in it, a posi, and street tires. Drag slicks will be next year. So, yeah. So, I'm going to go ahead, chalk the front wheels, jack up the rear, pull the tires off, paint the drums, and then back it out of here and do an outro. Well, the camera don't pick it up, but those are red brake drums. It'll probably look better going down the road. Let me do an outro. Okay, guys. thank you so much for watching this video. That will do it on the 85 F250. We got a lot done in this video. My camera's running out of storage, so we did a lot of work. I still have to do a brake caliper, but that's a 5-minute job. This took way longer than expected. It took me about 6 hours. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I would also like to address a couple more things. As you can see, this video is a lot better quality, I think so, than the previous videos. And as for my older videos that I did 3 years ago, I already set like 15 to private. But as I add a new video, I'm going to take away one of the old ones because the old ones were just dumb. They weren't on topic. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And yeah, so mainly the lawnmower videos. Those will, as time goes on, will disappear. So, thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh yeah, and I'd also like to mention that if AutoZone has the brake caliper in, my grandpa's actually almost there right now. I will do a video of the line lock getting put to use. So maybe, maybe not. I guess you guys will see that after this clip, or it'll be the end of the video.